Welcome to Buffzone. We are here to talk about Week 6 of the football season, and Pat, it's Arizona State week. But first off, let's talk about Oregon. Let's recap that game. Obviously, the Buffs lose that one 41-24, and put up a much better fight than they ever have against the Ducks. But give me your overall thoughts from that game.
I think it's unfortunate the Buffs couldn't maintain the emotion and the aggressiveness they came out with. Boy, they were hitting hard at the outset of that game. It was fun to watch, really from the opening kickoff. Unfortunately, they did not come out of the locker room in the second half with that same energy. The third quarter killed them. Inconsistencies once again, a couple killer turnovers, and lo and behold, another home loss. Oregon certainly isn't the team they used to be. This was a team where the Buffs probably definitely had an opportunity to pick up a key win. It's just unfortunate they couldn't come out of the locker room with that same energy that they came out for the opening kickoff with.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, especially them getting the opening kickoff to start the third quarter. Had they been able to go down there and get some points, get a lead early in that third quarter, could have been a different game. But a disappointing one for the Buffs. And like you mentioned, Oregon's not the same team, but that still would have been a great win for this program. Would have kind of made up a little bit for that Hawaii loss in Week 1 because this was one nobody expected them to get. So disappointing for them. I'm interested to see how they bounce back against Arizona State, though.
Arizona State obviously is coming off a big win against UCLA, and the Buffs need another great effort. They need to maintain it throughout the entire game, all 60 minutes. So, again, a good bounce back opportunity. Hopefully, you can get it done down at the desert.
Yeah, this is a tough way to bounce back, though. I mean, Arizona State, really, I thought one of the more disappointing teams in the country the first 3-4 weeks of the season. And then last week they come out and have their best game of the year. So I'm not sure what kind of Sun Devils team we're going to get this week. But being on the road, that's tough for the Buffs to try to bounce back from this one.
It's a very aggressive defense Arizona State has as well. Obviously, they did a number on UCLA this past weekend. And we'll see if the Buffs can get that running game going. There's been times this season where it looked like the strength of the team. More recently, injuries have hit, certainly, but more recently it's been hard to get that attack going. And I think this team obviously will be better if they can keep up a balanced attack than leaning on Cepho in the passing game too much. We'll see if they can get that back this week. It'll be a tall order against a tough defense.
Yeah, I agree. And defensively, I'm interested to see if the Buffs can maintain how they've played up to this point. I mean, they've really played well for the most part this year. Had a pretty good game against Oregon. Can they do it on the road against a pretty talented Arizona State team?
We'll see how they respond on Saturday. Like you said, obviously a tough challenge. Defense has played well for the most part in fits and spurts. They got worn down by that Oregon running game for sure this past weekend. Hopefully they can learn from that, correct some of those errors, and come out and maintain the intensity they came out with this past Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Buffs do down there in Tempe. They've never beaten Arizona State, 0-6 all time, including 0-4 since joining the Pac-12. Arizona State's won all those by at least 14 points. So, with that in mind, your prediction for this week?
I think it's going to be another tough row for the Buffs. I'm thinking somewhere in the 35-21 range, Arizona State.
Yeah, I'm thinking along the same lines. The second week in a row, we've kind of thought the same thing.
Are we rehearsing this?
I know. I'm going to go Arizona State 42-28.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens this week. We'll look forward to seeing you next week for Week 7.